So now we're going to look at another look in the tank. So a tank contains 80 liters of water. The function W represents the relationship. So we have W of t is 80 minus 2.5 t. So how much in tank will be in the water after 13 minutes? So we would represent this by W of 13. Again, our input is 13 minutes. And then we would calculate our output. So 80 minus 2.5 times 13. Then I'm just going to use a calculator to do that. So 80 minus 2.5 times 13 gives us 47.5. And then I'm just going to include my L for liters. So how many minutes will it take until the tank has 5 liters? Now here, what we could do, here's the old-fashioned way of solving that. You just plug in W for W of t. So you go 5 is equal to 80 minus 2.5 t. And then to solve that, we would subtract 8. And we have negative 3 equals negative 2.5 t. And then divide both sides by negative 2.5. So here, negative 3 divided by negative 2.5 gives us 1.2. So this is going to be 1.2 minutes. Now, in this situation, what information can we gain from the inverse function, W? So if we did W, the inverse function of W, it would be having our amount of water as the input and time as the output. So again, the inverse function just changes our input and our output. So to find the inverse function of W, we would just have, I'm just going to say W of t is W equals 80 minus 2.5 t, and then we just solve for t. So we subtract 80 from both sides, and we have W minus 80 equals negative 2.5 t. Then divide both sides by negative 2.5. And we would have t is equal to W minus 80 divided by negative 2.5. So how would the graph of the inverse function compare to the graph of W? Describe your prediction. So if we're thinking about that, our graph of the other one, if this was our time and this were our water, we had that. Well, we're flipping our input and output. So water is going here, time is going there. So I think it would just switch the x and y axis. So again, this would just kind of switch like that. And we would have water and time. So we can actually graph that to see. So here we had y equals 80 minus 2.5 x. And our other function was t, but we can just leave that as pretending that it's y. So we would put w minus 80 in parentheses, so x minus 80, and then divide by negative 2.5. Oops. And then graph that. And it did switch those. So if you notice, this was long, and then it switched to be the other way.